I went into Problemista with a clear idea of what I thought I was getting. The trailer sells a surrealist rendering of the American immigration experience, with fantastical pops of color, unsuccessful visa applicants who disappear on the spot, and a formidable Tilda Swinton with eyes that sometimes glow red. It's a package of weirdness, comedy, and commentary that A24's marketing department is good at turning into an easy pill to swallow, as if the reach for a certain kind of uniqueness is now familiar. People might even walk away from it thinking that expectation was met. Problemista just wears that movie like a coat. Julio Torres, writer, director, and star, wields familiarity to make his film accessible. But I'd wager his stance on today's movies is similar to his protagonist Alejandro's view of toys: wonderful, but a little bit too preoccupied with, fun. Alejandro's ideas are often to make small but meaningful tweaks to established toys that force a shift in our perspective on them, and Torres' film takes the same approach. This is, in a way, the surrealist mode. But if such works are usually mind-expanding, this targets the heart. Problemista critiques systems, but its characters are the real point. Tilda Swinton's Elizabeth is much more than she initially seems. Alejandro's journey to visa sponsorship is Kafkaesque, if Kafka's primary drivers were empathy and optimism. At the outset, he works for a company that, in one of my favorite touches, offers cryogenic services exclusively to terminally ill artists. The technology to wake them up hasn't been invented yet. Legally, their service is a form of euthanasia, but their business model lets them continue to charge for keeping the cryo tube powered and stored. When Ale loses that job, he has only 1 month to find a new sponsor. Somewhere, an hourglass bearing his name is turned over. Hope arrives in the form of Elizabeth Swinton, an art critic and wife of Bobby, RZA, the frozen artist Ale had been overseeing. It is a fragile, difficult hope. She is disorganized, demanding, and prone to lashing out at the poor, unsuspecting representatives of whichever entity has drawn her ire. In modern terms, she is a Karen. In the visual language of the movie, she is the monster hiding in the cave that Alejandro's wandering hero is compelled to enter. But, if Ale can manage to arrange a show for Bobby's egg-focused paintings, she might sponsor his visa. There's a version of Problemista that makes Elizabeth an arm of its political critique, with U.S. policy forcing Alejandro to depend on the whims of an erratic individual. This is part of her, but she is much, much more, in a way that no real person can be reduced to the role they play in anyone else's life. Swinton's performance captures the messy swirl of emotion motivating her behavior without rendering her purely sympathetic. Our position toward her can oscillate between condemnation and support within a single scene. She is not bound to her characterization in the film's storybook framework.